What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now, taking you all the way up the lock, all the way up to 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Myself and Chop, we got the first hour and 15 minutes. We yield to crunch time. Kevin Roth holding it down with Beermakersfan. Kirkwood, Kirkdiese joining as well. It's a Monday. It's an 8-game slate in the association. 8 games on DK. FanDuel is including the last game, Atlanta taking on the Clippers. Some injury stuff to monitor there as well. FanDuel is including that despite it being an hour and a half later than the 8th game that tips off at 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Jalen Johnson's questionable. Na is questionable. We have 4 teams in the back half of back-to-back. That's Detroit. Detroit's going to be one of the most popular teams in the slate. We'll talk about them soon enough. Orlando, Milwaukee, Minnesota. Just one team in the front end. That is the Utah Jazz. It's also not just a Monday, but a movie Monday. I know that's what gets Chop excited. Chop also double duty for Chopper. He's working later on the showdown slate, the Packers and the Eagles. What's up, Chop? How are things?
What's up, big dog?
What's going on?
Ready? Man, yeah, we're ready, D. We're ready. It's a big action pack. Man, I'll tell you what, this is if I delay a little bit when I unmute myself, don't worry about it. I know what's going on. It's just something's fishy with my computer. I think it's a Windows issue, but so it might be it's a little bit laggy, but no big deal. I just wanted to point out Bob Nightingale, MLB Bob Nightingale says the GMs predict Kyle Tucker will sign a deal with either the Yankees, Blue Jays, or Dodgers.
I'm glad somebody pointed that out. I never considered those teams.
Thanks, Bob. You narrowed it down for us. We didn't
Not
know
the Marlins. That. The Marlins aren't
we didn't know that, Bob. We appreciate you though, man. So always got to keep your eye on the hot stove, Dean. You got to keep your eye on the hot stove. And
well, he's been doing it for 30 years. That's how you know he's a pro.
Well, let me tell you something, Dean. We don't know how much hot stove there's going to be. I think there's I don't know what's going on with the labor negotiation, but I'll tell you what though. The whole Ortiz and Clase thing, that's pretty big. You better keep your eye on that situation.
Well, I mean, it's just over. Like the circumstantial evidence is super obvious. It's and again, the people talk about the gambling and the regulations and all that kind of stuff, and how it's bringing this stuff to light. Well, guess what? Like the shared information is what closes the deal, and people realize. Well, wait a second. The amount of money wagered on the first pitch in the 3rd inning today to be a strike or a ball, it's 400 times what it normally is. Alarm bells go off and well, wait a second. So it's actually, you can make the argument that it's helping you. So
not to be that guy, Dean, but if the stuff wasn't legal and pushed on us like it is, there would be no market for a first pitch ball or strike. Let's put this in perspective. Okay, so if I read the affidavit correctly, Dean.
You read it.
Yeah, if I read it correctly, and I might be wrong here. They might have misconstrued this a little bit. So they paid Ortiz $5,000 to throw a ball on a first pitch, and they paid Clase. They said $7,000. I don't know if it was $7 extra grand to facilitate the Ortiz pitch. To talk to him and get him to do it.
Talk him into it.
So they spent $12,000 to get one ball. So $12,000. So what is the market? Well, I mean, how much money could you possibly get down on Luis Ortiz to throw a ball on the first pitch? What is the freaking market, man? If you're spending $12,000 to make it happen, that's
Does
insane.
every site offer that live in-game experience? I think FanDuel does, but I'm not sure every single one. But it's a great question, and it's it's wild that you would just not do the expression. He's throwing his career away with that one pitch, right? Basically throwing his career away. Both those guys, it's just terrible. And we're probably never going to see him again in baseball, not the majors. You got to make an example out of him. But what the motivation question, you think he's telling his buddies, hey, just, I'm going to throw on this and you get in on it. And, maybe it's easier than maybe your friends are bothering you for a loan because they know you're a millionaire. It's like, you know what, just bet on this and I'll take care of you that way.
There's a possibility.
I have no idea.
It's the same as the Terry Rozier thing. He didn't do it because he needed it. He signed a freaking incredible contract last time. Yeah. He did it. He specifically said or mentioned something about the friends, and I don't want to take care of my friends. Here's a way to take care of them and all that. He could do that. Lana, not going to try to pronounce the last. Lana's in chat, says still upset about the Jays. Yeah, you should. You're going to be thinking about that for the rest of your life. I hate to tell you that. As an Astros fan, we went to a Game 7 of the World Series and thought we probably should have won. You're going to think about that for the rest of your life, no matter if you win a championship or not in the next few years. So, unfortunate, Lana. My apologies. My sympathies for you.
And like you said, at baseball, if they're going to find a way to screw up all the momentum, because Game 7 was awesome, most viewed World Series in 20, 25 years or so. It was captivating. The numbers in Canada, the numbers in Japan, the numbers in America were spectacular. People, there's a lot of people say baseball's dead and whatever. And now we're going into a labor issue possibly in the offseason, and they're gonna screw this momentum up. They're gonna screw it up. They're gonna find a way to screw it up. I hope they don't, but they probably will. But it was spectacular World Series, and it's a huge bummer for Toronto. I think most people, if you're independent, you're not a Lakers fan, not a Dodgers fan, you're probably rooting for Toronto as a default, root for the underdog, that kind of thing. So what a bummer. But and he might not be back. That's just how baseball goes. Yeah, it's pretty random when you get in the playoffs. But yeah, hopefully there's nothing goofy that happens and they figure it out, but not sure. We'll see. I can't believe you're diving into the affidavits of all these. I'm
not diving in. It's just there.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. It's just there. You don't find it remotely interesting? Dang.
I do. It is. It's the psychology of I think especially Clase, who's just got an awesome contract, right? It's the psychology of them just, and they go to the start of the season, they have a presentation of some sort. And they're like, listen, these are the things you can and cannot do. And they lay it out. But it's just a really, really wild decision. And I guess they just think they just can't get caught. And they don't realize how detrimental the penalty could be. But and I would say, okay, if you want to take away that kind of betting, sure. That's kind of silly. Betting on, I don't know who's sitting there who's mapping out. Well, Ortiz is known for throwing a strike 57% of the time on his first pitch in the third inning. Okay, whatever. It's probably a little too much gambling, but it is wild that you can actually bet on that and get enough money down, like you said. But it's super obvious to catch. It's when they're sharing the information, you're just telling the people that's.
I guess maybe if you're Clase and Ortiz, you're thinking, okay, whatever. They'll never be able to prove I did it on purpose,
So you bounce it in 7 feet short.
I threw a ball, but even then, you can't prove it unless until you start looking at the money trail.
Yeah,
which is where I don't think they really thought ahead. But if you're, I would have that same mindset if I was when I was 19. Maybe you'll know I did it, but you can never prove I did it. Something like that. But yeah, when you start seeing the money trail, you're in trouble. So I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully people will learn from this going forward. Short term versus long term. Okay, Chop. Again, 9 games tonight, 8 on DK. DK leaving off Atlanta and the Clippers. Jalen Johnson questionable. Nah is questionable. The biggest information that we're waiting for on this slate, as far as who's in and who's out stuff, Oscar Thompson is questionable, back out of a back-to-back, and he also has an ankle. Looks like a victory most likely against Washington. They're 11-point favorites, despite without several of their regulars already ruled out. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart is out, and no Jaden Ivey, no Tobias Harris. Karis LeVert may or may not rest with his knee injury management. So that's kind of a big one to monitor. Other stuff that we have an eye on, Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey had his ankle broken over the weekend. Not broken, but was it DeAndre Hunter? Had him taking a spill on a pretty spectacular move. He's questionable tonight. Giannis is playing the back half of back-to-back, but he's officially probable. He played a lot of minutes yesterday as well. I think it's 3rd and 4. It's not 3rd. I think they're in the midst of like 6 and 9. So we might see a Giannis sit at some point. Not saying it's happening tonight necessarily, but something to keep an eye on this week. Anthony Davis is questionable. Gafford also questionable for Dallas. That's of note. And I think those are the big ones. I don't think I've missed anything. There's some little baby ones we'll talk about. But, yeah, the Pistons are going to be really popular on this slate either way. They might even get more popular if some more players are ruled out. Jalen Duren is taking the leap, man. He's been awesome this season, and this is a great matchup for him. We'll talk. He's still just 22, right? He came into the league so young, super strong. He's still fouling a bit, which is kind of concerning. Foul trouble is kind of one of his bugaboos historically. But, yeah, I think it's 1.45 fantasy points a minute in the season for Duren. I don't know if that's going to hold, but that's really, really strong, obviously. Anything else as far as the big picture? The Heat, I think one of the more interesting things is, and I keep talking about the Heat, get used to this. This is not stopping. They are flying, fastest pace in the league. What if I told you last year there was like a 9-game slate, Chop, and the game with the biggest game total is Cavs-Miami, 247.5. Like you never would have believed that last year. Cavs-Miami, 247.5. Like what is going on? But that is the biggest number on the board. Miami is scorching. No Bam, obviously. Bam Adebayo still out for the Heat. Anything you want to say as far as the slate big picture of notes, or you want to just kind of dive in?
Well, I would say that, I don't have the big picture stuff for you, but Giannis should probably take a little break today. After what Şengün did to him yesterday, he needs to take a night off and recuperate from that, man. You didn't see a little Sunday afternoon basketball yesterday.
I didn't see it. I wasn't watching the game, but I saw like a clip or two.
Matinee for you.
Yeah, well, I was watching the football, but yeah. What was Şengün's final line?
Oh, I don't know. It was pretty good, but it was that play at the end of the game, man. He had a play at the end of the game where Giannis tried to pick him up full court, and Şengün, I was like watching, going, pass the ball, Şengün, pass it. He's on you, man. Pass it, get rid of it. But he took the dribble up court with Giannis hounding him, made a move, got around him, got to the rim, and got the and one to seal the game. So it was a good play. But yeah, Giannis played a lot yesterday. Put a lot of effort into it. At some point,
36 minutes.
He's going to take a little break at some point. I don't know that it'll be tonight because they haven't mentioned that to us, but
it's coming. It's coming. And they're trying to manage his knee as well with the minutes, 36 minutes, 37 points yesterday. He probably plays today, but at some point, they have a condensed schedule. The final line for Şengün was 23, 11, and 7 for what it's worth. KD put up 31 in the bucket.
Look at that Reed Shepherd. That's the big one.
29 minutes off the bench. Yeah,
that's the one that'll tell you if the Rockets can make a run or not right now.
Or he might get traded for somebody that can help him make a run. Right? Is that supposedly possible?
I wouldn't hate it, but he looked good. He looked good yesterday, man.
All right, let's talk about the first game. The first game is the Lakers at the Hornets. 230.5 is the total. I say first game. There are 3 games at 7:00. That is the first one we're going to talk about as far as who's in and who's out for this one. LeBron, of course, is yet to debut this season. Austin Reeves officially in with his groin. The Hornets, man, LaMelo just cannot get right with that ankle of his. He cannot play if he set that ankle. Brandon Miller still out, obviously. Miles Bridges was questionable earlier today. He was upgraded to probable with his back. We're anticipating Trey Mann to start alongside Sexton, Bridges, Kalkbrenner, and Knipple, Knipple. The other side, it's Luka, Marcus Smart, Austin Reeves, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton. One of the best big spends on the slate. It's just a matter of how you're delegating your salary. Is Luka, of course. Love him. It's just, does he fit builds? I don't know if he fits my builds, Chop. I like him just fine. If you land on Luka, you're never going to be angry about it. But I don't think that's somebody I'm starting with. I'm curious your thoughts. How do you feel about the Lakers and the Hornets?
It's interesting. It's interesting, Dina. It's the first game we're talking about, part of the 3-game early window. And I'm not super interested in it. There's a little bit of ownership going around in this game. Sexton's going to get a little bit. Knipple's going to get probably double-digit ownership, low double digits. Not even quite the teens, but enough to, I would think. With no LeBron, Luka's going to stand out. Probably the most ownership in this whole game. If I'm going chalky later down the road that we're going to talk about as my salary savers, I kind of don't want to do Luka as my star, because then you're getting into a build with a lot of other people. So I'd like to spend up somewhere else besides Luka. And so for that reason, I probably won't have him in my lineup. I think Reeves being ruled in makes him a pretty good play. That's a really good price on DraftKings. And so, I don't know if I'm looking at this thing on one side over there. Knipple, I think, he's rock solid, man. He can put up a lot of good stats, and you're missing some guys, so he's fine. Sexton's okay. Prefer Knipple. Miles Bridges is all right, but he's expensive. Luka's all right. I don't like the ownership, though, on this kind of a slate. For that build's going to be a specific kind of build, so maybe Austin Reeves. Reeves and Knipple, I guess, is where I'm narrowing it down to, Dean, and that's about my favorites from this game. But I'm not super. I don't have to play anybody from this game.
I sort of feel the same way. Luka's $13K on FanDuel, like $13K. That's, man, he's not going to be owned. He's got to put up 70, right? You need 70, and I'm not saying you can't get there, but that's basically what you need on FanDuel. We currently have him at 2% over there. One player that looks better on FanDuel than DK is Sexton, 24%, because he's 5'8" over there, which is cheaper than his DK price, which is 6'7", which is really tough to get to. Best Hornet, I agree with you. It's Knipple. Bridges, 8'8" on DK is pretty tough. That's just hard to justify. Chop, are you testing your mic over there? What's going on?
Check.
I see you blowing on something.
Well, it's there's a big process here, Dean.
Yeah, I was just making sure. I think you're good. You sound good to me, for what it's worth. If that's your answer.
I mean, it sounds good. I just I got two buttons I can mute with, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I would prefer to use today.
By the way, Chop, today is I'm not to cut you off.
Oh shit, you didn't give a clue, Dean. You didn't give us a clue yet.
That's why I cut you. I just realized it's Movie Monday. I mentioned Movie Monday. It's scrolling right now. Help is the first clue. Tell me what movie I'm talking about.
Oh shit, that's so vague. Could you be any more vague? You're like the Bob Nightingale of movie clue giving. Thanks, Yankees, freaking Dodgers.
Today's movie is going to be either an action movie, a comedy, or a horror.
Okay.
A crime drama.
What did I see on Friday? I saw one on Friday, Dean.
Oh, every Friday is your movie night. What'd you say?
What was it? Okay, so first of all, they fooled me because they put up the F1 on Apple TV as if it was out,
Oh, it's not out yet.
No, but they put it up that they made it look like it was out. And I went there, I was like, oh yeah, Friday F1, we're gonna do it because I'm ready for that. That's a good one. And I go and it's just like a first glance at F1. And I'm like, oh, you got me. So we went another route. God dang it. What did we go? We went comedy. We went Naked Gun, the new one with Liam.
Oh, Neeson. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 90 minutes of.
Not even. It's like an hour 20.
Yeah. Fun. It's funny stuff. It's just, nothing I'd ever watch again, but it killed the hour 20, It killed the hour 30. It was fine.
I was going to say fun fact. It's not a fun fact, but it's probably a fact, not a chop fact. The movie I watched the most as a child was the original Naked Gun movie, I would say. So more so than any other movie I remember watching as a kid. So big fan of Leslie Nielsen back in the day. Okay. Game one's down. It's the Lakers and the Hornets. First clue is scrolling, get that Discord channel. Tell me what movie I'm talking about. The Blazers are in Orlando. 235.5 is a total. Orlando is a 1-point favorite. I talk about how fast Miami's going. Portland's second. They had the second highest pace this season. They just played and they put up, 260 points combined. He goes more than that. It was a lot of points. Scoot is not playing basketball tonight. That's Scoot Henderson. He's out with his hamstring for Portland. No Matisse Thybulle. As far as the Magic, Jalen Suggs, it is the back half of a back-to-back, so he's got to rest. He's got injury management. We've not seen Moritz Mo Wagner all season long. We're anticipating Anthony Black to draw the start here for Orlando. He significantly outplayed Tyus Jones this season. Drew Holiday's been awesome, by the way, surprisingly awesome so far this year for Portland. The opposite has been Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane's been kind of a disaster for the Magic. I still think he's going to figure it out at some point. But yeah, Blazers, Magic, it's high and tight, right? Orlando just a 1-point favorite here. They are in the back half of back-to-back. Portland, island game for them. How do you see it? Blazers, Magic.
Well, the projection teams are going to always, it seems, shove Desmond Bane down our throat. And, man, I wish he wouldn't have had that big blow-up game. I think it was Friday night against Boston. Thursday or Friday, something like that. He had a big one. Like, the only game this year he's been decent, right? He had that big game. If not for that, he'd have a bunch of clunkers, all clunkers. So that keeps you kind of hanging on to the what if on Bane, and it keeps his projection way up there, and very good projection for the salary. And at some point he'll hit again. So I don't know, man. That's just a matter of preference right there. I don't think I'm playing him tonight. As good as the projections are, when the projections are that good, the ownership is going to be very high too. So you got to take that into account. And I think right now you're right. He's trying to figure things out. I think he'll be better at some point, but it's not yet. So I'm gonna pass on that. I could roll with his teammate a little bit, Anthony Black, because he's cheap and he's pretty solid. He can do things. Other than that, Dean, I'm not super interested in this game. I'm not on to the Portland side. Denny Avdija is my favorite player on this team. He always fits that mid-range build if that's what you want to roll with. I don't know that I'm doing that tonight with all that value out there. So the rest of the Portland guys don't really intrigue me that much. Banchero's too much. Wagner, a little bit too inconsistent for what I want. And nothing else. Bane, because of the projection, stays in play, and Anthony Black, because of the price stays in play. Otherwise, not a super, super interesting game to me.
As far as current ownership projection on DK, the most popular one right now is Desmond Bane. He projects well because it's based upon past performance. His past performance is pretty good. 25% currently, about a 33-point projection on DK at 6'1". As a median projection. Anthony Black, we talked about, pretty solid player, coming in at 17%. You mentioned Denny Avdija, most popular player on DK for Portland. That's 15%. Toumani Camara at 11%. I would say that Banchero at 2 or 3%, probably too low. Franz Wagner at 7-8 at 10%. I do like him more than Banchero point per dollar. No priorities, though. This is kind of where you're at as well. I don't feel like I have any priorities in this game in general. If I land on Black as like my last cheapie to get in there, sure. I'm fine with that. Drew Holiday, 6'9" on FanDuel, better price on FanDuel than he is on DK. And again, he's been really, really good so far this season for Portland. And Franz is a pretty good price on FanDuel as well, coming in at 27%, 7.4. I think 7.4 is a really appealing price tag over there. Anything else as far as game 2, or shall we move along? All right. Did we say hello to chat? What's up, chat? Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all those things that help us keep the old lights on. About 45 minutes or so. Crunch time coming in. Kirkwood, Beermakersfan, as well as Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. Guesses in the Discord channel. Help was the clue. It is not Castaway or the Truman Show. 127 hours. That's a good guess. Saving Private Ryan, Office Space, Commando. That's Arnold. That's an Arnold movie, right? From many, many years ago, Commando. It's not that. Or Gone Girl or Mr. Deeds. It's another Made in Manhattan. That's another good guess there. All right. Let's move along to game 3, the last game of the 7 o'clock window, the most popular game. Very, very clearly, Detroit playing back half of back-to-back. Big-time favorites against the Wizards. They're 11-point favorites here. 235.5 is the total. They're without several key pieces. They just said Tobias Harris, no timetable as far as his return with his high ankle. He's out tonight. Jaden Ivey's out tonight. Sasser is out. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart is out. Possibly All-Star Thompson. I think there's a decent chance he sits. We'll see. I think there's at least a 50% chance we lose All-Star Thompson. And Karis LeVert, injury management, he's also questionable. Who is left standing? Well, we talked about it earlier. Duren has been just spectacular this season. Got a little matchup here against Washington here, Chop. He's projected to be one of the most popular players in the slate at the center position. Holland on FanDuel and DK looks really, really good. We're assuming he jumps in the starting lineup. We're projecting Cade Cunningham, Duncan Robinson, Oscar Thompson, Ronald Holland II, and Jalen Duren. We'll talk about the Wizards in a second, but like how much Pistons is too much Pistons, Chop? Because I'm running some things. I'm running some stuff. I'm getting, let's see. I was running on DK. I was getting 3, maybe 4. My first optimal, I add some variance to it for what it's worth, is 4 Pistons, 3 Pistons, 3 or 4 Pistons, and most every one of my lineups that are there. There's one with 2. There's a couple with 2 with the top 10, but they're hard to ignore. I think the Pistons are awesome tonight. It's just a matter of how much is too much.
Man, this is a good question for NBA DFS in general. How much is too much of one team? Because it feels kind of counterintuitive to play like 4 guys from the same team, because you feel like you're just eating at the other guy's stats. But in the NBA, it's all about price tag, and because of that, if those 4 guys are cheapish, then I think it's fine. I probably won't do 4 of them, but Cade Cunningham, I probably wouldn't do Cade and 3 other of his teammates, because Cade needs to be the bell cow here. But like you said, Duren's been awesome this year. Will this be the game where he breaks down and doesn't do anything and leaves everybody angry? It could be, but he's been really good. I probably want to roll with him. Ron Holland's going to be – I don't have the updated numbers, but I think he's probably going to be the most popular guy on the slate ownership-wise. Deservedly so. Great price tag. Lots of guys missing here. Good matchup. He'll be fine. So, yeah, there's a lot of value on this team. I think I probably can't pass up on Ronald Holland. So I think he's going to go in the team. You just, when a guy's projected well enough and the price is low enough, you probably got to go ahead and roll with him. So, we can adjust if Oscar Thompson's in the game and, see how that treats us. But I think Duren, Holland are good.
Well, he's projected well even without Osar, because we're expecting him to start. We're expecting him to start alongside Thompson. We actually have an if-then chop set up if Osar and LeVert are out. Holland, we're projecting 34 minutes. Now, this isn't the assumption both those guys are out, but Holland's already getting 30, I think, right? Yeah, 31, 30. Javonte Green would be the guy that would kind of spike as well. And he actually kind of projects sort of fringe interesting. If you're betting on blowout, maybe, I think he's getting 18 or so minutes. What are we giving him? We're giving him 23. So, yeah, if you want to bet the blowout angle, I think he could get the job done in 23, I guess, against Washington. The other interesting one, Chop. Well, I guess I'll let you finish your thought, but I'm thinking about, if I'm not playing Jalen Duren, Paul Reed is an interesting flyer that could get the job done in 17 minutes or so. And if we get a blowout, he's a really good fantasy point minute player, like 1.25 this season. That's probably more large build stuff, and center, he's center only on FanDuel. Like, if they're only rostering one center, is going to be Paul Reed. Probably not. But I'd throw him in the mix if I'm running a bunch of lineups.
B-ball Paul. I mean, he could. It's 3,300. It's not why not? Although I don't really know that this game is going to blow out tonight. I think Washington, even though they're 1-9, I think they're better than their record shows. So I think they're pretty decent, and I think they've got some plays on that side of the ball. we can roll with too. Alexander Sarr has been really good this year. He's been very consistent and put up big numbers. So credit to him. Don't mind him. CJ McCollum's picked it up the last 2 games. Looks pretty solid. Again, all these injuries for Detroit hurt an otherwise pretty solid defense for them. Can't help but to hurt them, especially if Thompson's out. So, those guys become in play. And that's probably where I cut it off at Sarr and McCollum. Keyshawn George gets a decent projection, but slightly out of the price range I want him to be at. And all that other stuff doesn't affect me. I don't know. It's a good game because you got all that Detroit value, but I'm going to wait and see. I want Asir Thompson to be out because I think that makes this game extremely competitive, much better for Washington, the Washington runbacks, because it hurts that defense even more than it already is. And I think it opens up a few more minutes for some of these guys. So that's the big news I'm waiting on. But I see Brandon Ingram got fined $25K for throwing that water bottle. They ought to suspend the guy a couple games. That's pretty rude, man.
He almost hit his teammate, didn't he?
He hit that worker guy in the face, man. Come on now. And then he didn't. I don't mind that, but he didn't apologize. It's very what's that little short baseball guy that did that here recently?
Jose Altuve?
No. The interview guy, Ken Rosenthal. Is it Ken Rosenthal?
Oh yeah.
Knocked that guy over and then just looked at him like he was like that guy was in the wrong. Brandon Ingram was very Rosenthal-ish in that move, man. It's crazy. These guys.
Rosenthal and his
they ain't got no conscience, man.
I don't know. I think of Dennis Rodman. Remember kicking the cameraman? I don't know why. That's sort of like I'm sure you remember that when he was on the ground and yeah. He got sued for that. I don't know if it was fine or not, but
can't do that, man.
All right. So wait, you said you're rooting for Asar being out. That means
just from a fantasy perspective, I think it opens up more minutes for some of these guys, and I want the run back on Washington, and that really helps it when you get one of the better defensive players in the league out.
Yeah, I like Sarr a lot. He would be my favorite run back in theory, but Duran's just a tough matchup. He's a big, strong dude in the inside. So I don't know if this is the best spot for Sarr, but I think he's the best play on Washington in general, in theory. But no Koulibaly still for Washington. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. He's not played for a bit. He's still out for the Wiz. Is that your favorite run back, Sarr, or you mentioned McCollum?
Right now, depending on how that roster looked when I went to go build it, and how much I had left over. Yeah, Sarr's the $7,200, and I just like players who have the ability around that price range to put up a 50 if I needed it. I don't need it in GPPs all the time, but it's not bad. But do you have the ability to put up a 50 spot? Yes, he can. He's done it.
Yeah.
So I like that. McCollum at his price tag. This is just general thoughts, Dan. I didn't do the math on it or anything, but just general thoughts. Oh, I'm paying $5,800 for McCollum. Can you put up a 40 for me tonight? Yes, he could. He could. So he's in play, but Sarr at 72 is even better. So probably, but I would have no problems with McCollum being a run back for 3. And if I'm playing 3 Pistons in a GPP, I think I do want to run it back with one of those guys. I don't just think I want 3 Pistons and no run back. I think running it back would be a good choice tonight.
Derek wants to know if you can play Holland, Duran, and Thompson together. You can. I think you can play those 3 together. Sarr, by the way, this year 1.42 DK fantasy points per minute. Just has been really, really awesome. McCollum 0.92. Now he's like the clear fantasy guy on Washington. George at 1.1. But yeah, Sarr is their best fantasy player at this point in the year. Second clue, Chop. Second clue is Panther. Help and Panther. Help and Panther. Get in that Discord channel. Chop, tell me in our individual chat here. Let me know what movie I'm talking about on a Monday night. No news really dropping, right? No news outside of the fine there for Brandon Ingram. We'll move along. Talk about my Heat. My Heat, 247.5 is the total. They're 7-point dogs at home versus the Cavs. It is a big opponent for Miami. They're without Bam, so they're obviously smaller on the inside. Tyler Hero has yet to make an appearance this season. Everybody else, Jaime Jaquez, Juan Wick is good to go with his ankle. Jovic is in with his hip. Norm Powell, he's got that ankle, but he's available to go. Terry Rozier is hanging out with Emmanuel Clase somewhere. Drew Smith is good to go with his knee. As far as the Cavs, Larry Nance is questionable, doesn't really matter. And no revenge for Max Strus. He's going to be out for a bit. No revenge game for him with his foot. Oh, man. The Heat, again, they are flying. The rotations are really hard to predict, which is kind of tricky. Hake is coming off the bench, but closing a lot. Been kind of their six-man. Jovic has been, I would say, outplaying Ware, but you think they need Ware's size against the combination of Mobley and Allen here for the Cavs. How are you seeing Cleveland, Miami? Again, 247.5 total. I did a double take when I saw that number, but I don't think it's wrong. I think that's correct. Just the way Miami's playing, and their opponents are pushing alongside them. How are you seeing the Heat and the Cavaliers?
Well, big total here. So you got to roll, you got to keep them in play. Cleveland side's a little bit tricky because you're relatively healthy. And I think they're helped with no Bam, some of those inside guys, but do you really want, I don't know, how much Jared Allen do you feel good about? I don't know. Not all that great. Mobley would be my preferred play for the inside guys. Mitchell in a big pace could certainly get it done. He's in play. Garland, I don't know, man. 7,700 for Garland, even if he was in midseason form, would be I don't know, not great, but he's not in midseason form. He just came back from an injury. I don't know that I want to go that route. DeAndre Hunter, that's too pricey. So I'm kind of thinking Mobley and Mitchell as the players. But to be honest, I don't think I have anybody from Cleveland. It's the Miami side. I'd be interested in the Miami side here with they're cheap enough. Wiggins, no Bam propels him up a notch on the scoring level here for this team. So 6,800 is a good way to grab you a Miami player in a massive total for cheap. Jaime Jaquez coming off the bench. This has been awesome this year. Let me pull up those numbers and make sure he's still doing that, man. Yeah,
he's been good. He's been very good.
He's been awesome, man. He's been awesome this year. Revitalized had a really tough sophomore slump, but coming back in his third year, looks awesome. Price tag looks kind of big, but not when you start looking at digging into his production this year. It's great. Another good way to get exposure to this team. After that, kind of not for me after that, but I'm not gonna besmirch anybody for playing anybody from this game. Really, it's the highest total on the board, and it's a good game. But I'm sticking with Wiggins or Jaquez on one side, and if I want to run it back, Mitchell and Mobley on the other side.
Do we assume Jovic closes again instead of Ware? Ware's just been starting and kind of disappearing. It's tough, but Jovic has been playing good. Of course, he's undersized when compared to Mobley and Allen. I'm curious to see how that works. But we saw Jovic play last game against Portland, 31 minutes off the bench. Jaquez played 29 at the bench. Again, it's tricky to figure out who's going to close for Miami. Pele Larson doesn't always close. He'll start. But there's certainly guys here. Jovic probably got paid in the offseason. Some Heat fans were like, why are you paying this guy so much money? He's doing well so far. He's doing well, $70 million or so. It's not a ton for the NBA, but he was a fringe player, right? But they believe in him, and he's looked pretty good so far of late. Where, if he does play 30 minutes, would be great, but you can't project that because far too often he just gets relegated to the bench.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed, Dean.
But it can happen. I think there's a world where he plays good,
Khalil Ware,
and plays 30 minutes, and then he looks great.
He's one of those guys where if you told me 30, there's dozens of them out there. If you tell me beforehand this guy's getting 30 minutes, and I sign me up for a GPP, no questions asked. He's one of those guys. He can put up that kind of production. So yeah, if you believe that this is a matchup where they're going to use him a little bit more, I agree. I love guys like that in GPPs.
So the chat saying Ware played the entire fourth quarter. He played the entire fourth quarter for Charlotte. That was against Charlotte. Against Portland, he did not. Charlotte was on the 7th. The Blazers was on the 8th. So, yeah, we've seen it. But we've seen him close the fourth and play the entire fourth. We also seen him not play the entire fourth. And I think you're supposed to lean into, the unknown with Miami a little bit. This is the battle of the D Mitchells as well. If you're one of those people who watches box scores, like the live, the StatCast thing, Davion Mitchell and the better Mitchell, of course, is on Cleveland. Garland, 26 minutes, 28 minutes, his first 2 games. I think we're projecting 30 now. So he's close to full. It's going to cost you, but I do think Donovan Mitchell, he's got a chance to score like 40 in the bucket here versus Miami. I do like him as a run back. It's pricey for sure. But the answer, by the way, is not Ray Chop. Ray is your guess. It's also not Naked Gun or Hunger Games or Joker or Ted or 42 or Creed. No winners just yet. Not Howard the Duck either. Which, yeah. When are they going to remake that, Chop? Eventually, one of these days, we're going to get a Howard the Duck remake, I would imagine. But, all right. Anything else here as far as Miami and the Cavs that we should point out? All right. And still no news dropping. Okay. Khalil Ware officially probable with his hip. I didn't know he was on the injury report as being probable, I think. Or was he not on there at all? Interesting. I don't think he was on there, was he? No. Yeah, they had Jaquez and Jovic and Powell all available. I'm not sure why they're adding that, but okay. So Ware is probable. Just his name wasn't on the injury report, and now they're adding it, I guess. Or it's just a Drew Smith available too, which, again, he was also listed as probable. I'm not sure if we're getting any new information, but good to get some clarity and confirmation, I suppose. Third clue for the people, for yourself as well, is Hamilton. Help, Panther, and Hamilton. Well, let me know what movie I'm talking about. Get that Discord channel. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Spurs, Bulls, 237.5 is the total. San Antonio is a 5-point favorite at Chicago. Kind of a big deal here is that Josh Giddey is questionable. He's got an ankle, thanks to DeAndre Hunter. Zach Collins still out for Chicago. No revenge for Zach Collins, unfortunately. Kobe White is out with his calf. We've not seen him all season long. Patrick Williams is available with his finger. San Antonio, Harper is out. Luke Cornett is questionable with his ankle. We did see Fox come back and play. He was mostly full, right? De'Aaron Fox coming back for San Antonio in his first game. He played 31 minutes, 24 points in the bucket. Not an incredible amount of ball handling, 3 assists. But I was a little surprised he played 31 out the gate, but basically full there his first game of the season. Wemby, Victor Wembanyama, good matchup here against Vooch. Are we going to get an optimal game where we need to get Wemby? He's 12-2 on DK. I think he's 12-2 on FanDuel. He's 11-something on DK. 11-9. Yeah. And probably not going to get a ton of ownership. Duran's going to be the most popular center, I think. We'll see. But, yeah. How do you see the Bulls and the Spurs?
Well, that's why I like Wemby in GPPs a lot tonight, Dean. It's because of the ownership game we're playing here and getting away from Luka and away from the other. And if Giannis plays, and he'll be more popular than Wemby too. I think he's a great GPP play in this matchup. Chicago is still, man, I forgot their record. They're pretty good record-wise. They look pretty good record-wise, Obviously, it's probably a little fool's gold, but they're still very soft in the middle, and Wemby will be able to attack the rim on them and stop shooting 3-pointers tonight and get to the rim, and he'll put up like when you look at these last, 4 or 5 games, the fantasy production has not been there, and that's what driving people off. And it's basically because the shots aren't falling. The defensive stats are pretty consistent throughout, man. He's always going to rack those up. The rebounds are consistent. The shots need to fall for him. He needs to stop shooting 3s and get back to 2s. And once he does that, then he'll get those big numbers again. And so at 2% or so, if that's what he's going to be tonight, I'll gladly play that in GPPs against a soft matchup and hope some shots fall for him. So he's probably my favorite spend up tonight, just based on that. Obviously, Luka's safer, but I need something there. Fox got a good price on DK. You could play that all day long. Fox being back hurt some of the other guys, so I'm going to pass on the rest of those guys. On the flip side, for Chicago, worried about Giddey. The ankle looked legitimately hurt, and I don't know if it was the cross up or if it just happens, But so don't want Giddey, don't want Vooch. I think this is a tough matchup. And then not really loving too many other guys. Like if you want to go really cheap and consistent, Ayu DeSamo is fine, but he doesn't really fit the profile of a guy with some big upside to me. So at least not without more injuries on this team. So
I think they're keeping him on a minutes limit. They're saying like 24 minutes or so for DeSumo.
There's no upside there. The projection is still fine for 4,200, so, but I don't want him because there's no upside. So I think Wemby's my favorite player from this game. The most popular guy from this game might very well be De'Aaron Fox, though. And I don't have to go that route. I don't need to go that route.
By the way, I'm seeing Wemby on DK currently projected to have like 2% ownership. I don't believe that. I think it's got to be higher than that, a little bit, like at least a little bit. If large field stuff, I can't imagine. I'm not running 100. I don't know what you're doing tonight. You probably make one lineup, but I can't imagine if you're running 100 lineups, you're not getting at least 2 or 3 or 4% of Wemby. You have to do that almost on any given night. He's out there. So I would guess that that's going to go up. We're still, plenty of time until lock, plenty of time for things to change, more information to come in. Still waiting for news. And Detroit will get, if we don't get it, Crunch Time's going to get it probably at 6:30. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. But, that's a 7:00 game, so you'll know that before the slate starts. If All-Star Thompson's out, which is a big deal. Josh Giddey, this is 8:00. So will we know this? I don't know. Maybe we'll get the news, the update around 6:30. It'll probably be a game time decision. We'll see. Stay tuned on that. Yeah, we're currently projecting Giddey, Trey Jones, Okoro, Bazelis, and Vuk to start against Fox, Castle, Vassell, Harry Barnes, and the Alien. Herder would get a bump, I think. We do have an if then. So we are projecting DeSumo to play 28 minutes if Giddey's out. I thought he had like a soft minutes restriction of late. But 28, Herder 27, he would get a bump. Vuk would get rates bump. Trey Jones 31 minutes, yeah, he would get a bump as well. Revenge game? Didn't Trey Jones play for the Spurs? Am I making that up? I think he did, right? Think so. Does that sound right, Chop?
That Trey Jones, man, that doesn't sound unfamiliar. I think there's a chance you might be right on that.
I could be making that up, but I think he played for the Spurs. He did. Yeah, he did play for the Spurs. Herder and Jones, it would get bumps.
Oh, Lord.
Is he a vengeful guy? Do we know?
No, I'm just looking at my phone real quick. I got a notification that popped up.
What is it?
This is going to test me right here. From TJ in Slack. Man, he wants to swap a show with me on Thursday.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't respect the fact you're on air right now.
I don't think he knows. I know what he's trying to do here, Dean. He wants to swap. He wants to take my NBA with the crunch time that night, and he wants me to do the NFL that night because I'm not on the NFL then. But I know what he's doing.
Dolphins? Is it Dolphins Thursday?
I know what he's doing here, Dean.
What's he doing?
It's freaking Bobby Gomes. Whoever's got to do the NFL show's got to work with Bobby Gomes. Bobby Gomes.
He's trying to stick you with Bobby.
Trying to stick me with Gomes. Gomes is like a dead fish, man. Gomes don't. I say, Gomes, what's the freaking play of the day, Gomes? And he's like a one-word answer, and that's like, Gomes, I need you to expound a little bit, man.
You got to bump your usage when you're working with Bobby, is what you're saying.
Goodness gracious. I know what TJ. I know these shenanigans, TJ. I see the angle you're coming from, TJ.
You think that's the angle he's working? You think he's that deep in the weeds in this? Maybe what if he actually has something to do on Thursday night? It's not possible.
I doubt it. I think he took a look at the schedule and said, "Oh, Gomes. Oh, let me see if I can swap with somebody."
Chop, he's a sucker. He won't look at the schedule.
Oh, I'm 5 steps ahead of you, TJ. I know the schedule, brother. I saw 3 days ago. I saw, TJ's got to work with Gomes on Thursday.
So Steve is sticking up for TJ. He's saying he actually was asking Steve if he can produce as well. So there is a legit reason that TJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Well, if Bobby's listening, we're just joking, Bobby.
All right. We're done with the Bulls and the Spurs, yes?
Dunzo.
Sorry to Bother You is not the answer, or Supercell, or Mary Poppins, or Apocalypto. I know you love that movie. Not Crazy Stupid Love, or Forrest Gump, or The Butler. This is a clue. Ready for this one, Chop? Clue number 4. We never used this clue before. Never. Unprecedented. I would remember if we did. Clue number 4, Chop, is E equals MC squared. That is clue number 4. All right. Next game, get a Discord channel, win yourself a week free of RG Premium. It's the Bucks. The Bucks are taking on the Mavericks. It is the back half of a back-to-back, and Milwaukee worked pretty hard yesterday against Chop's Rockets, especially Giannis put up 37 points in the bucket. I think he played 36 minutes or so. We are on, scratch watch for him at some point this week. I'm not saying it's going to happen tonight necessarily. They are 3-point favorites at Dallas officially, according to their injury report. Giannis is listed as probable with his knee. KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., he's out. He had a knee surgery. Tareem Prince as a neck, so he cannot play basketball. We may see AD. Anthony Davis might come back tonight with his calf. Daniel Gafford also questionable with his ankle. Yeah, Bucks and Mavericks. How do we feel about this matchup tonight?
Man, tell you what I feel, Dean. I feel like maybe Dallas should just sit AD out and not let Kyrie come back this year because the knee surgery was so late in the year last year anyway. They ought to just be tanking and try to and hope they can get that top 3 pick. A top 3 pick in the upcoming draft almost guarantees you a total star in the NBA. There's 3 guys that are going to come out next year. Now they should really try to tank that thing one more time, and they got lucky with Cooper Flag. Tank again, maybe not get. You don't need to get so lucky and grab a top 3 man. Then you've got a real foundation for a future because they really screwed up by doing the whole Luka trade. But that'd be my thoughts. I don't know why they're rushing AD back. You're not winning nothing anytime. You're certainly not winning anything this year. If you're Dallas,
they stink this year. Like they've been. It's just 10 games, but it's been rough.
It's terrible. Kyrie, like I said, that knee injury was so late in the year. I don't expect him to come back and be decent at all this year. This whole year, like it was so. And he's an older player. Like AD is injury prone and doing. They just need to tank, man, and get. They got 3 good ones, Dean.
Is it going to be a good draft? Is that what we're speculating?
Yes, very good. No,
is there one big name? Is there one big name I should keep an eye on?
No, there's 3 of them right at the top. There's a kid from Kansas. He's a point guard. He might be the best guard prospect in a decade.
Okay.
They got this 6'8", 6'9" kid from BYU, Dibanesta, who's just awesome, and the guy who would be the number 1 pick in almost any other draft outside of the Wemby drafts kind of thing is Carlos Boozer's kid.
Really?
He's got 2 sons who play, who are just starting college. Yeah, but there's one that's a prospect and the other's kind of like a bit of an afterthought, even though they look the same. Yeah, Cam Boozer, I believe it. I think Cam Boozer is the good one.
I didn't know
he's good. Yeah. He's good. He'd be the number 1 pick in a lot of drafts. This draft is so good, he's going to be the number 3 pick. Any one of those guys gets you a foundational player. Dallas ought to be tanking, pairing with Cooper Flag, have a decade's worth of really good teams. But so I don't like Dallas, but they're playing Milwaukee, who's on a second night of a back-to-back. I didn't think Milwaukee was very good coming into the year. I didn't think they made enough moves. So I think they're overachieving, but don't like them for fantasy because it's Giannis or bust. These other guys don't really do anything for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried about Giannis's minutes on a second night of a back-to-back like this and traveling. So don't really like anybody from Milwaukee. If Anthony Davis comes back, he kind of throws extra minutes out there that are going to get taken away from other guys. So I don't like them. Maybe Cooper Flag. Sometimes he looks like he's figuring some things out. Sometimes he looks like a 19-year-old rookie, So I could take a chance on his upside sometimes. But if Anthony Davis is back, that kind of puts the damper on PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and those guys for me. So, and I don't know that there's enough upside with some of the other guys. So Cooper flag or bust on one side, and on the other side, I'll pass.
Yeah, if Davis is back, I just cross out the entire Dallas team because everybody else, their prices got pumped up in the absence of Davis. By the way, the chat is Josh is saying Dominique Wilkins' kid. How does he's 20 years older than Carlos Boozer and
I don't know if you're aware these days, Dean, but Alec Baldwin's probably 75 and he just had a kid.
I know that scientifically it's possible, but yeah. I understand how this can work. But
yeah, Shuckler brings up another name, Koa Pete for Arizona. Man, that guy's good, man. So yeah, this is a good draft. It's a deep draft. Koa Pete, Dean, another awesome player in college.
Where would Zach Risache, former number 1 pick, go in this upcoming draft?
Man, honestly, probably 8 or 9 or 10. Yeah. It's a good draft. That was a bad draft.
And it's a bummer when you have the number 1 pick and just nobody really stood out. Okay. Yeah. Milwaukee Dallas is one of my least favorite games in the slate. It's basically a cross out for me unless we lose Giannis, and that's just speculation. I think it seems like at some point it's going to happen, but if you're going to trust the team, they've done this before, they put him probable and then kind of pulled back on that. But according to the team, he is probable to play tonight. We have 2 more games left in the DK main slate. By the way, Chop, we did get a winner in the Discord channel. I will drop the 5th clue. Competition is the 5th clue. Help, Panther, Hamilton, E equals MC squared, and competition is the 5th clue. But I do want to shout out, this is a multiple-time winner, D Pike, in the Discord channel. Get yourself a week free of RJ Premium if you want. Dealer's choice. You can get yourself some scores and odds. Did we like the firing of Brian Dable? Were you a fan of that? Do we care? You think about that as a Cowboys fan and somebody being in your division?
That's a good question, Dean. I'm kind of torn on it. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's probably a pretty bad coach. So as a Cowboys fan, I kind of wouldn't have minded them keeping him around. But also as a Cowboys fan, I like that they're not firing their GM, who's a total he's airballed so much stuff.
Well, what is that? I don't know how it even works. How does the GM keep his job? And now he's responsible for the next coach. And what if he's the problem?
And he is a problem because don't let the Jackson Dart thing fool you. That wasn't his decision really. So
yeah,
I don't mind that, Dean, as a Cowboys fan. Yeah, they need to get a good coach in there that strictly number 1 priority is developing a quarterback and knowing how to treat a quarterback, right? If they can do that, they'll be all right with this next hire. If they don't, then they're going to be in trouble. There's only so much running Jackson Dart you can do before he becomes the next guy who just concussions his way out of the league.
Got to slide. It's enough.
That's 4 times now.
Yeah,
and he's only played in so many games he's 4 times he's been evaluated for concussion, and Dayball is going to the tent trying to get him back in the game.
Well, he knows Russ is the next guy coming in, and that's trouble. Yeah,
you guys are going to ruin his career before he gets started. So they need to get a coach in there that can take care of a quarterback.
I mean, they might have found the guy. It's just teaching him how to not, take so much punishment. Okay, New Orleans and Phoenix, 227.5 is the total. New Orleans is a 9-point dog here. Another team, just a lost season. Just another team. Speaking of terrible management, the Pelicans, who gave away their first pick this year, they might have given away one of the players you were talking about. For sure they did. One of those names they could have had. They're not going to get now because they lost their number 1 pick. All right. The Pels, Yves Missi available tonight with his illness. No Jordan Poole, no pool party. He's got a quad. And Zion, skinny Zion's got that hamstring. He's not playing tonight. For Phoenix, bummer for Jalen Green. He came back and lit it up his first game. Injured again with his hamstring. Looks really bad. Probably out for a while. Had to be helped off. Royce O'Neal is probable with his illness. He had the fish. Despite that, he's expected to play. I think Mark Williams' chop is one of the best pivots off of Jalen Duren tonight. You can play them both, of course, on DK, but inside New Orleans, they get ravaged inside, give up some of the most points in the paint. They also give up some of those opponent rebounds, and that is the skill set for Mark Williams. He just camps out inside, he rebounds, and he, putbacks, dunks, things like that. So I think he's a phenomenal play this evening. Derek Queen, very strange with his minutes and rotation and all that, but they basically play him the entire fourth quarter. I don't know what's going on there with that. It seems kind of odd. Fears is projecting really well, the rookie. The absence of Poole. We saw Trey Murphy last game get loose. He's the guy that really has to step up in the absence of Zion. Dropped 40 in the bucket. I think it was 41 if you want to get all technical. Pelicans and the Suns. How you seeing this matchup?
Yeah, this one might be even with the Miami game being a higher total, this might be like even better for fantasy right here. Like this is an awesome game. So I'm supposing the movie thing isn't The Blind Side, right? Because nobody answered me in chat.
It is not The Blind Side. You want to knock it out for you? I can tell you. We already got a winner. You're not going to like the answer. You're not going to like it.
I want to know what's going on, so give it to me. So,
you actually said the movie at the top of the show. You did say it, and I had to put on my poker face to pretend like you didn't ruin the game accidentally. But clue number one was help. And for Windows users, my understanding is for Windows users, what button do you push to access help on the keyboard? There's a button where you can access your help, the help menu.
Never heard of it, so it's news to me. But I'm curious.
You got a keyboard in front of you, right? You see buttons like there's an A, a B, a C, a 1, 2, and a 3.
Yeah.
But there's also like F7, F3, F1.
I didn't know that.
You've never noticed those keys before? They're there, right?
I've noticed those keys, but I don't know which one is for help.
Yeah. So for Windows users, if you press F1, you'll get the the help menu. So yeah, you said the movie earlier. 2, Panther, the Pitt Panthers. The Pitt Panthers. You've heard of them before. 3, Hamilton, not the play, but Lewis Hamilton is one of the most famous F1 drivers in the world.
Goodness gracious.
E equals MC squared is one of the most famous formulas ever created. Shout out to Albert Einstein. He didn't know he was getting a shout out today. Shout out to Albert Einstein. And 5, competition. F1. It's a race. It's a competition. So the movie is F1. I thought for sure somebody's going to say it once you said it.
Well, I had it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I threw myself off because maybe subconsciously I thought there's no way the answer to this thing is going to be a movie I've already mentioned today. Maybe I subconsciously. I would have never got there. But yeah.
The chat like these clues, but I think they're pretty good ones, to be honest.
Yeah, that one kept it really, really tight right there. Let's see. So Trey Murphy is one of those guys, a mid-range build. He's fantastic. Because for 7,900, he could go for 50 again. That's just, in this kind of a matchup. So he's a good one. Jeremy Fears gets projected really well at a good price tonight. He's in play. Herbert Jones needs to rack up some defensive stats, but that's a cheap price. Derek Queen, what a nice offensive player. I don't know that you're going to trade a first-round pick for him the following year, but he's a nice offensive piece. Problem is, he's one of the guys who gets ravaged inside because he's not a good defender. So him being on the court is going to help you multiple ways. Going to help you with fantasy and going to help Mark Williams with fantasy. So Sadiq Bey is projecting fair tonight, fair enough to where for only 4,800 you can play. So New Orleans is squarely in play for 2 teams that I don't think are very good. Booker is the be-all on this team. He shoots. He's leads them in assists, career high in assists this year.
He's been great.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So he's in play. You mentioned Mark Williams, another high upside, mid-range build guy. Love that. After that, it gets a little hairy for me. Grayson Allen's kind of expensive, but not my cup of tea. But you can go for it. Dylan Brooks, I won't roster him anymore ever again. And Royce O'Neal. When everybody's healthy, Royce O'Neal's not the guy, and neither is Colin Gillespie. So.
Gillespie's been good, man. He's been good this year.
He's also. I'm gonna check the price on him. Yeah, this is a couple $100 more than the last couple of slates he's been on. So he's been solid, but I just don't. Let me see. I need upside, man, and topping out at 30, I don't think gets me there.
He's not had a game above 30 this season. I feel like he
He
has.
had, but I'm just saying tonight with Booker, with Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks in there, his a
Was
higher
he
upside
good in
names.
college? I don't know anything about the guy. Was he somebody that was scouted in college?
Sounds like a Villanova guy, and if so, all right. You're on mute.
So Queen in the season averaging 1.12 fantasy points per minute. Yeah, the minutes are kind of dicey with him, which is, that's sort of the tricky thing. You're not really certain you're going to get the minutes, but because we have to count on him getting 12 minutes in the fourth quarter, which he's been getting that, but it's just kind of weird. But that's kind of where it's at. Fears is another cheapie is projecting pretty well. I know earlier in the day Queen was projecting pretty good. Where do we have him as far as this game? 26% Fears, 21% for Herb. He's going to be on the court a bunch. You mentioned defensive player. You got to get those threes. You got to get those stocks. Otherwise, you're not going to get much else. Mark Williams, 18% currently on DK. He doesn't really get full minutes, but we're projecting 28. I think 28 is probably enough to get home here against New Orleans. So he's one of my favorite plays on the slate. And you mentioned, the absence of Green opens it up for Allen and Royce O'Neal, but they've seen their salaries kind of baked up, especially Allen at 6'4". Just seems a little bit too aggressive for my liking. Okay. As far as anything else you want to note in this game, or shall we move along and talk about? I was going to call it the hammer game, but they're on at the same time. That's New Orleans and Phoenix. You got anything else, or Minnesota at Utah?
Moving on down the road.
Okay. Minnesota, they're in the back half of a back-to-back. There are 7-point favorites here in Utah. Historically, one of the tougher places to play a back-to-back. They say Denver is the toughest because of the altitude. Second highest altitude is Utah. Now, what makes it easier is that the Utah stinks. They're not good at playing basketball. As far as who's in and who's out in this one, well, one of their best players, Utah, they did lose. Wait a second. Are they not yet submitted? I'm pulling up their injury report. Have we not got a – okay, there it is. Taylor Hendricks is questionable. Kessler is out, obviously, for the season. Still no Niang. Sheboy still hanging out in the G League. Minnesota keeps listing DiVincenzo on the injury report, despite the fact he's going to play every single time with that mask. Terrence Shannon is out. That doesn't really matter. Rudy Gobert, revenge game here against Utah. Ant is another superstar that can certainly drop 40. I don't really know who's going to subdue him here on Utah outside of possibly maybe the blowout. How do you see the T-Wolves and the Jazz?
Yep, good spot for the T-Wolves all the way around the board. Edwards and Randall are awesome. Gobert going back to Utah again. Probably has a little mean streak in him for revenge. Who knows? DiVincenzo's okay. Jaden Daniels projects all right. Naz Reid, if he hits his three-pointers, they're all in play right there. But Edwards is obviously awesome, and Randall's okay. But Edwards would be my preferred play over there because of what you mentioned. There's nobody that's really going to be able to. It's just a matter of what he wants to do tonight. Does he want to facilitate more, or does he want to score more? And then how many minutes is he going to get? Is he going to get any time in the fourth quarter at all? Who knows? Markkanen, good. Nurkic, just cheap enough, under 6K, just cheap enough to keep me interested in it. Other than that, Keontae George projects well, but 7K, not great. So I don't know. That's a little bit too much ownership for George for me. And, otherwise, not really seeing a lot else. That's about what I got for this game right here.
Just pulling up our ownership stuff here. We did get an update about 15 minutes ago or so. This is the most updated ownership stuff currently on DK. We are seeing – I had the New Orleans game clicked there by accident. 22% for Edwards, 22% for Nurkic. I would probably only play Nurkic if I was playing somebody in Minnesota. We're giving him 27 minutes for what it's worth. Randall at 12. And Markkanen, same thing. I wouldn't play Markkanen unless I was playing somebody in Minnesota. Everybody else is basically 10% or less. Gobert is 6K on DK. He's got a really good appealing price on FanDuel. I think he's like 5'6" over there. 5'8". Yeah, and of course, his game is more, plays better on FanDuel because DK, you get a bonus for 3-pointers. You're not making 3-pointers if you're Rudy Gobert, and you get the bonus, 3 points per stock, blocks, steals on FanDuel, as opposed to the 2 on DK. So his price is better on FanDuel, and his game plays better on FanDuel. Okay, I do want to touch on this last game. It's speaking of FanDuel only, the Hawks and the Clippers. 220.5 is the total. I think the Clippers are the slowest team in basketball this year as far as pace. Yes. Yeah, they're slower than Boston, and your Rockets are the third slowest. They're also the oldest, I think. Aren't the Clippers the oldest? And they look it. Yeah, your boy Chris Paul's looking old these days. Bradley Beal, it's rough. They keep rolling him out there, but it's not been great. Kawhi does not have aspirations for playing basketball tonight. He is out for the Clippers. Bradley Beal officially questionable for what it's worth. And as far as the Hawks, did mention earlier, Alexander Walker is questionable with the back, and Jalen Johnson's questionable with a quad. So, things can certainly open up. We saw Muhammad Gay had a spectacular game last time out when Atlanta was thin. But I don't know, Chop, if you're playing on FanDuel tonight, but this could be a nuisance.
Muhammad who?
Muhammad Gay.
Really?
Yes. Is this your first time hearing of him?
Okay. I didn't know that's the way it was pronounced, Dean. Good for you. You're on it.
I'm just pronouncing the way it's pronounced. I mean, that's just
I didn't know. Like, I've never sat down and watched him play and heard an announcer.
You don't know where he went to college?
No. Did he even go to college, or did he come from overseas?
I don't know his backstory.
I was rolling. I was just going to be polite and go Muhammad Gooey.
Why is that polite? It's not polite to mispronounce the guy's name.
Well, you're calling him Gay. I'll call him Gooey.
I'm just calling him by his name.
Okay.
Clippers, James Harden, the absence of Kawhi Leonard, Chop.
Oh, God. Do we really got to call this game? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, I think
everybody's questionable. I don't know what to say about that.
No, but this is it. You got to. We know the Kawhi's not playing. James Harden, 44% ownership on FanDuel. That's a massive number for a big tag, but we know it gets bumped up in the absence of.
Yeah. How good has he been this year, though? He's another one that's hitting the wall with his age. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Dean? Like he's not the same James Harden, man.
Well,
I don't know, Dean. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not playing FanDuel and I was playing because I don't got to make these decisions. James Harden, 8,800. I just feel like we've gone over players in these other games that are better than all these guys in this game. Like, what's in this game that Jalen Johnson's a great young player? He's questionable. I'm not going to leave a roster spot open on tonight's slate to wait for that news. My God, man, there's too many you're passing up on good plays right and left here, man. John Collins would be great for the Clippers, but they don't play him enough.
No.
He could be a guy that could be a difference maker for him and help him out. They don't play him enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just doesn't really – this game – there's nothing about this game that's interesting. If I were to do anything, I would not play this game. And if I had any leans on this game, I'd just put props in on them, like prop bet it and not DFS it. It just doesn't seem very – like I'm not waiting up for this one. And not to mention, it's what time does it start? 9:30 Central Time, Dean.
10:30 East Coast.
Yeah, about 11 o'clock. I've been getting tired. I no way I'm sticking up and waiting and watching this game, man.
Well, you're watching the football, aren't you?
No, I'm not watching that whole thing.
If it's a close game in the fourth quarter, you just tap out and go to bed?
So the thing about that one is, like, right around the second quarter is when my wife sits down in the living room with me, and then we start watching some good TV. So I'll turn it off the football. I have no problems doing that. An island game. So
Cowboys, though, exceptions.
Yeah, I would probably watch the Cowboys, but
yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm turning it off and watching. Like, I just watched the first. No spoilers, Dean. No spoilers, please. But we just watched the first episode of Pluribus last night,
Oh yeah.
While the Chargers and the Steelers were playing, I think I made a good decision there to turn that game off. But so tonight it'll be probably catch up on some Jersey Shore, during while
good
football's
TV,
going.
good TV like Jersey Shore.
Well, some people find it entertaining, or else it wouldn't still be on after 17 years, Dean. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be the only ones watching it, or else MTV would cancel it by now.
Yeah.
So we got that. I've got plenty of American Idols to catch up on, and not American Idol, The Voice. Got plenty of voices to catch up on. Like, I'm probably not gonna watch the football game until
you can't fall far behind The Voice, because then you can't vote live, and it's not a big part.
I don't think I've ever voted live. I don't get in it to vote live. Josh Giddey is out. That's interesting.
Oh boy. Okay, so revenge game for Trey Jones. Kevin Herter going to get a boost.
Yeah,
and I want to see a thing on Daisumu and how many minutes they're going to let him play, because if they let him go, he's going to be pretty interesting.
If they don't let him go, then those other guys are really awesome.
Okay. Crunch time is knocking on the door, and I do want to see that Pluribus, because Vince Gilligan, one could argue. What?
You haven't seen it? You haven't seen it yet?
No. I haven't watched it yet.
I've only watched the first episode, Dean.
Yeah.
It gets you. He catches you.
Vince Gilligan has created the two best shows of the 21st century, so I will watch anything he puts out there.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm excited to watch that on the Apple. Crunch time. They're knocking on the door. It's Kevin Roth. It's Beermakersfan. It's Kirkwood, Kirkdiese. Let's do it. Crunch time right now. No spoilers on Pluribus, Roth. I know you want to tell Chop what you think of Pluribus.
I'm intrigued. I was just Googling it. What I need to know is, are they doing the stupid episodic thing where I have to wait, or is it all out and I can binge watch the whole thing?
There are 3 of them out right now.
And then you got to wait. Yeah.
I can't do it. I got to hold off then, right? That's so annoying.
Well, did you not watch TV like 20 years ago? You can't go back?
No, I played video games, so no, I did not.
It's kind of that's like an anchor of a show. Like that one anchors Sunday night now for me. That's my Sunday night show. It's my anchor. I don't want to binge something like I'm binging other stuff. I don't want to binge a really good one like that. I like to spread those out.
You watching that Chair Company on HBO?
Yes.
Kirkdiese show. He loves that, man.
I haven't started it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Pluribus is great too. Yeah, they're both great. They're both excellent. And Chop sounds like his Monday night sounded like an old housewife. So he's got to watch American Idol, The Voice, Jersey Shore.
Start to yawn about 11. I got to start thinking about that.
The dream.
Why not? I'm under enough pressure. I'm under enough pressure all day long. I need to relax at night. Watch a little TV.
Some prune juice or something.
What pressure are you under? Like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
You really want my itinerary, Dean? Today I had a Zoom meeting with the principal of the high school, and there's a lot going on here, Dean.
Boy.
Like, it's tough with 3 kids who, when one of them is
Preach, brother, preach.
You said everything.
Gets it, Chop.
You said it all.
Chop's going to be back. Chop, so much pressure, Chop. He's working double duty on Mondays later on, I think 7:30. We're talking about football.
With Beer. Me and Beer. Come on back.
Beer too. Beer working double duty.
He didn't even say hello to me. So there was a question in the chat if we would say hello to each other.
Well, I mean, I didn't individually say hello to anybody, I don't think. But hi, Beer. My apologies. Did you have any thoughts on the Chair Company?
No, I had, I spend my time watching sports, so no voice for me, no none of that. So I do like Vince Gilligan, so that's one I definitely will get into eventually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving in. Chop, who's breaking the slate before we get out of here?
Oh, good question. I got to pull it back up for you, Dean.
You forgot who's playing already?
Well, I got so many options here. I highlighted several guys, was waiting on it. You know what, Dean? I'm going to go crazy with you, Dean. I think this is going to be a big Andrew Wiggins game.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get Andrew Wiggins in that big total going.
If you want to get goofy, by the way, I think Paul Reed is your get goofy play on the slate. There's a goofy one for you. That's a little off the reservation, though. All right, that was Chop. I was Dean. You got almost 40 minutes of crunch time. Roth, Beermakersfan, Kirkwood. Roth, it is all yours.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it. It is crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Hi there, SpongeBob. We got Kirkdiese. We got Beermakersfan in the house. Kirk, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right. Nice little Monday. We got a lot of basketball here. We got a football game going down. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Decent weekend. Decent football weekend. Not really, kind of. But I had the right game, stacked it up crazily. But unfortunately, I didn't play Achan because Beer told me that was the one he liked less of the three running backs.
Just coming in hot.
He is, man. Taking shots from the chat.
Killing him right off the top. What's up, Beer?
What's up? It's like being at home, taking shots left and right. So
yeah,
chops look like summed up. Like I know exactly what you go through. It one kid's great, you don't worry about him. One you're constantly is a nightmare, and his face just summed it up. But
yeah,
I am good. Nice slate of NBA games tonight. My Packers in a massive game tonight against the Eagles. So Roth, I'm living the dream right now. No voice, no shows for me. Lots of sports tonight.
Today is a little Monday fun day, as I usually do. I'm getting drunk. I'm watching sports. I'm gambling. I'm playing DFS. Like I'm in. Like tonight is going to be an awesome night. So
they said Top's living the dream. You are living the dream, sir.
Yeah.
You just named all the good stuff right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a good little Monday for your boy over here, and of course, always good to hang out with you guys and talk some basketball. I'm playing Cam Whitmore at 3.5, and he's going to get me 30, 40 fantasy points. So I feel like good things are coming our way, but the people need the winners. They need the plays, and we need to run through it. So, Beer, let's start with maybe kind of an overview of the slate, and then I'll have Kirkdiese break down point guard for us on FanDuel.
Yeah, so FanDuel, obviously, by now, has the one extra game. So that's the one difference. A lot of injuries in that one that we're waiting on. We did just get the Josh Giddey news, and we have some big spreads on this one. Detroit's been awesome so far. They're at a big spread against Washington, but a tremendous spot for a lot of guys on that team. Charlotte's banged up, so the Lakers a big favorite tonight. New Orleans banged up, so Phoenix is actually a big favorite. So to me, it's injuries, it's big spreads, and a lot of high ownership tonight as well. So some guys I'm not loving at their current ownership level. So lots of different ways to attack this one.
Okay, very good. Well, let's start it over on FanDuel. As Beer mentioned, you've got an extra game over there. Kirk, what are we doing? Point guard, FanDuel.
I got to change the lineups, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But
why are you changing lineups?
Justin Giddey.
Yeah, Josh Giddey, who's just massive usage for the Bulls, is out in the game against the Spurs. So,
well, that happened kind of late on the show, and the guys didn't really get a chance to break that down fully. So let's talk about that. Giddey out. Who's getting the bumps? Like, give me 2-3 guys that, and tell me where they rank and how much you want them.
I mean, it's kind of gross because you say like Vooch, right, should be the main scoring option, you would think, but Vooch against Wemby doesn't sound very good, very, very tempting. So you're going to get some of the lower priced guys that probably get a boost, but they all come with a little bit towards Trey Jones. Kevin Herter, I would assume those were on a minutes limit, but I guess they said that they're going to take that away. So I think he's probably the biggest boost, or maybe Okoro because he probably starts now. I don't know. But none of these names are like great feel good DFS options.
Yeah. Okay. Beer, anything you want to add to that?
I'm with them. The Giddey was in a lot of my lineups, so we'll be adjusting on the fly here, but Jones is probably my favorite. We've seen him step in, put up solid numbers. The worry with him, it always feels like more of a cash game play. Like he's going to get you there, but is there upside here? So, Vooch having to deal with Wemby down low, don't really love that. So Herter maybe gets a bump. So I'll mix and match these guys, but Jones is probably my favorite here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start it off. FanDuel point guard, Kirkdiese. What are we doing?
All right. So on FanDuel, so James Harden, we got to talk. Chop just was saying, called them all. He besmirched Harden. He is a Houston Rockets fan, so I can see why he has those feelings. But Harden's actually been really good this season, except for a blip where in the last game the other night. And so that's like it's shame on you if you played him on the weekend, because everybody knows.
You know what he's doing.
Weekend. Yeah, everybody
Friday
knows.
night. What do you think Harden's doing?
It's a tale as old as time. You know.
His Friday night's like my Monday night.
It's your Monday, exactly. He's doing it's like listening to weather advice on Monday night from
Don't
Roth.
do it. Yeah. What's going to happen Monday Night Football? I don't know. It's going to be fine. The weather's fine. But anyway, Harden, you're interested?
Definitely. With Kawhi out, and his price is just nice. It works, so you can get a lot of upside on your lineups by using him. Now, you can. There are some other really good options on like the higher spend. Hold on, sorry. We got Cade Cunningham against Washington. I don't know if this is the best Cade game. He's 10-4, which is a little. I mean, this is obviously a great matchup, but it's a great matchup for all of these guys, and the best matchup I've ever probably seen in my history of DFS for Jalen Duren tonight. So. I'll get into that when we talk about center, but I could see like Cade's like he lights it up from the outside, or like when they need to slow it down and he attacks to the basket. The Wizards, and anyone can do it against the Wizards. So I think I'm going to play Duren over Cade, but Cade is a fine play. Donovan Mitchell is rating out at a pretty good play because he played Miami, who just has a great pace. Also, Garland is now back in our lives, and he's the cheaper version that you can play for $6,300. So I like that. Colin Sexton is mispriced on FanDuel. He's not a great play on DraftKings, but he is on FanDuel, with LaMelo out at $5,800. We know the story with him. He's not very good per se, but he can get buckets, right? Like he's a scorer. He's a decent scorer. He's just undersized and plays horrible defense. But we don't care about that. We just want the scoring in the game against the Lakers. You could play Luka. It's tough to do. He's $13K, which is pretty crazy. But, and Reeves is back now. But still, when you're talking about ceiling, Luka is right there. And did Beer already mentioned him? I don't know if I mentioned him, but Trey Jones obviously gets a boost now, and he's only 5,700. They're going to need him for a boatload of minutes. And to pick up some of the heavy lifting from Giddey being out.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Beer, your thoughts at point?
I side more with Chop on the James Harden debate. So hopefully this isn't a Devon Achane, who I never said I didn't like. We said we like all of them. He just ranked at the bottom of that list. So somebody's got to be left out sometimes. But I just 50% owned when there's a lot of other plays. And he's gone over 50 once over on FanDuel. So he's getting you there. Is he going above and beyond scores you need to win tournaments? Maybe tonight is certainly that night against Atlanta. It's a good matchup, but I'm going to be underweight on him for sure over here. So I like the Garland call. I think there's a lot of guys in the mid-range. He's still working his way back. We'll see what his minutes look like. But he's interesting. We mentioned Jones probably rates out as the best point per dollar option now with them missing so many pieces. Giddey, ton of usage out of that lineup. So he's probably both viable in cash games and in tournaments tonight. We'll see what that ownership ends up in tournaments, which is 30 minutes left. But very, very intrigued with him. Drew Holiday just continues to get it done night in, night out. This Orlando team still pretty good defensively. They rank top 5 in the NBA, but his price lagging behind at 6,900. So I do like him. And then one value play, it's a little risky. Like another guy working his way back, but Isaiah Collier is only 4,200 over here. I expect his minutes to take a jump eventually. We have him projected for 26. And I think that's plenty of minutes at 4,200. So if you need a cheapie, I think he's probably the best value at the position.
All right, we did just get some news here. Shout out to Tasteful Tides. Asar is out and Levert is out. Did you see that, Beer?
Wow. I did not. I'm seeing it now. So Ron Holland's going to be about 7,000% owned.
Okay, that's anyone else that you feel like needs to get pointed out with those guys out?
He talked about it with center. I love Duren as well. I don't think that really affects him a whole lot. So, Cade's going to, take a little bit more. You still have the worry of a blowout, even with, these guys out. So Duncan Robinson probably sees more time. So he's an interesting name. Holland, again, it was already going to be highly owned. He could be 50, 60% owned. So, you want to go to a Javonte Green at a little bit cheaper, you can certainly do that. But those are probably the two names that I would say. Maybe Paul Reed. Maybe, they give some double bigs. So, but I think Robinson, the one that may go overlooked here with everyone excited about Holland.
Okay, very good. How about shooting guard, Beer?
Shooting guard, so you have the same James Harden here again. I don't love the ownership. I'm fine with the spot, but 50% owned seems crazy. So Dylan Brooks is good value here tonight at 5,300. He's small forward, shooting guard eligible, so I like him. Con Knippel, I really like tonight, both DFS and betting wise. He has really stepped up his game, and it's not just the scoring. He's like rebounds are like 8.3 or something over the last 3 games. So getting it done scoring, getting it done with the rebounds, handful assists. So he's very, very intriguing at 6K tonight. We'll see if Sexton's back. I don't know if we got that news yet. I have not seen him, any news on him yet. So watching him. Trey Murphy finally had a big game. So it feels like you're buying high a little bit on him, but the ownership isn't going to be there. He's going to be around 10% owned. He's going to have to do a lot without Zion, without Poole in the lineup. So that's another team missing a lot of pieces tonight. So 7,500, more than fair on him tonight. And then I mind going to Austin Reeves here at 8,400. Again, late news on him. Ownership shouldn't be crazy in that one. So those are my favorites at shooting guard.
Very good. Kirk, your thoughts at shooting guard, please.
Yep. So, again, I know Beer's not high on Harden, but I like him. I love Anthony Edwards. So he's playing the Jazz. So he just played them the other night, and he was he was going absolutely nuclear. He got 50 fantasy points in just 26 minutes. The crazy thing was that he had 43% usage, and he has been someone that has been talking about he wants to get his scoring up this season when he was coming to the season and taking advantage of putting up big scores against bad teams. And this is the perfect example. And it's in Utah this time. So, there's more hope for a closer game to get some second half minutes than he had the last game. So I love Anthony Edwards. There's a lot of upside guys here. There's Donovan Mitchell, who's decently lowish owned. Devin Booker, decently lowish owned. Both of those guys, huge ceilings. Austin Reeves is another. Even with Luka, it's like just always just him and Luka who just do everything. So 8,400 is fine. Trey Murphy's in play after coming through with a big game over the weekend. Just playing Phoenix, whose defense is just terrible. And then obviously. Trey Jones, again, I'll mention. And no, I'm not even going to mention. I don't even like the matchup. But Desmond Bane, I think he finally had a good game, and I didn't play. Didn't play him that night, but I'm not going back to him tonight.
We're pretty late in the season to be like, oh, we finally had one. Like that's not great. We've had a few games here. Very good. How about small forward?
All right, small forward. So again, you can play Anthony Edwards here. Love him. Paulo Banchero, love him. Love Denny Avdia. These are all, highish priced guys that have, safe floors and really good ceilings. So, and Denny Avdia has just been amazing. And Orlando's a good matchup, and they're without one of their best defenders, Suggs, tonight. So I like Franz Wagner too a lot. And so if you need to save the money, 7,400 versus Paulo at 9,100, I think that's totally reasonable. So like both of them. Jalen Johnson on the Atlanta side is a good play. Miles Bridges is a good play. And I'll try to pull up some more of this Pacers Pistons fallout stuff to get some more names, but that's what I got.
Yeah. Okay. Beer, your thoughts, small forward?
So I want to be clear. Harden, Holland, owned in tournaments. I think they're both perfectly fine cash game plays. In fact, Holland should probably be the first guy in your lineups in cash games. And if I have to eat chalk on one or the other, it probably is Holland, a young guy that, was projecting well before Thompson was out. Now that number is going to jump. His role is going to jump. So absolutely still a guy you can play in tournaments and not worry about that ownership. So wanted to make that clear. Andrew Wiggins is a guy I feel better about in cash games at 6,600. think he's perfectly fine there. Not an easy matchup here with Cleveland. Don't necessarily love him for tournaments. Again, Knipple is interesting. Miles Bridges with the late announcement. He could be the guy that takes on a lot of offense there. LaMelo Ball leaves a lot behind. So really like him tonight. Jaime Jaquez, one of my favorites here tonight as well. Just 6,000. Feels too cheap without Hero, without Bam Adebayo. He just kills it in the rebounds and assists. So if you can get the 18, 20 points out of him, he's a guy that can get you 40, 50 fantasy points. So a big fan of him tonight. We mentioned Detroit, so I do think Duncan Robinson at 4,100 becomes much more viable tonight. And then Kevin Huerter as well with the injuries in Chicago, another good value play tonight. But really like Knipple, and I really like Jaime Jaquez tonight. Does
Duncan Robinson have a ceiling? Like outside of just hitting shots, can he get you enough points?
He's got to hit enough threes. So the beauty of a guy like that, they should hammer this Washington team, and they're 12-point favorites. So, maybe there's a little extra run, a little, a few more extra shots, and maybe Cade backs off a little bit. So I think in this spot there is, but it's certainly a concern with a guy like that. But we've seen some big games out of him when he was in Miami. When he gets the run, he can put numbers on the board. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to power forward, Beer.
Power forward, again, I mentioned Andrew Wiggins, fine cash game play. I agree with Wagner. Kirk brought him up. I think he's a great play. Those Orlando guys are always interesting because it's always, who do you want to play? Boncaro, Wagner, now Bane there. So he's always a guy in my player pool. I like Evan Mobley quite a bit tonight if you're spending. So he rates out really well. Agree on the Avdia call. So it's really a position I think you want to spend up here. Not seeing as much value at the power forward position. There is some, guys like Rui Hachimura takes a hit, but still pretty fair at 5,100. I do like Royce O'Neal at 5,200, a guy that can kind of do a little bit of everything. And Sadiq Bey for New Orleans at 4,600 with some of the injuries there. So there's decent value here, but I do think this is a spot you want to spend up on.
Okay. Kirk, power forward.
All right. So there's two biggies. It's Giannis and Wemby, both great plays. I'm a little bit worried about the Spurs just wiping the floor now without Giddey, but if this game does stay close, Wemby should be able to do whatever he wants and should be able to protect the paint too and rack up some of those stocks. So love him. Giannis is just a beast. Dallas's defense has just been pretty bad. And he should smash. So both of those guys. But if you need some cheaper guys, we got a nice little revenge spot for John Collins tonight with some people out. Playing his former team, Atlanta. So 4,800. I like that. Ron Holland, obviously, he's going to be the chalk now. He's just going to get a boatload of minutes. So you need somebody to get some of these big guys. So I like that. Andrew Wiggins, I'm kind of low on, but 6,600 is perfectly reasonable. Franz Wagner. I think you can play Porzingis tonight at 6,700. I think that price is still pretty low. This game could be pretty nice again for the late night hammer, so I like that. And if you're playing Anthony Edwards and you want to play for the angle of keeping it close, obviously Lauri Markkanen would be the guy that could keep them in this game tonight. And it is a back-to-back for the Wolves too. Plus it's in Utah, so it's pretty realistic that it does stay competitive. And again, I'll mention Denny Avdia. I think he's a smash too.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Let's go to center.
All right. He's just going to be a bazillion % owned now, I'm sure, as all the news has been breaking.
It's actually coming down, surprisingly.
I just don't believe it, but
I don't either. I'm like, that number cannot be accurate because this is about the clearest play that we've had, like you said.
So Durant has scored at least 50 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5. This is as good of a spot as I've ever seen. The Wizards rank 29th in defensive rating, 30th in opponent rebounds, 30th in opponent steals, 29th in opponent blocks, and give up the second most points in the paint. It's just a beautiful matchup. I don't care what his price is, and he's so cheap on DK, and he's only 8,100 on FanDuel. I think he's an absolute smash. The next guy that I think is a pretty good value is on the Phoenix side, Mark Williams at 6,100. I like him a lot. You can play Wemby here. Vooch gets a boost, but I just don't feel right about that, Vooch playing against Wemby. But he rates out as a good play. Zubac is good, nice, decent play. And Nurkic, it's too cheap for his role. Had a bad game against Minnesota, against Guerrero, but everyone did. They just got absolutely blown out. So, like I said, I think this is going to be more competitive tonight. And Nurkic at 5,800 can bring some upside, even if it is against Gobert.
Yeah. Okay. Beer.
It's two guys for me, Roth. And I'm going to keep this short and sweet here. Jalen Duren, Kirk named all the stats. They give up the most points, the most rebounds, the most fantasy points. So, really all we need to be concerned with. So the only concern, a blowout, or an injury, obviously. And great spot, though. So he's my favorite play in the entire slate tonight. Lineups I don't have Jalen Duren. It is Mark Williams for me. I expect his role to continue to grow with this team. They need to find somebody outside of Devin Booker that can provide some offense, and he showed us he can be a force in the paint last year with Charlotte. So I think his role is only going to continue to get bigger here. So outside of that, I have a little bit of Nurkic. I agree at 5,800. I don't love Vooch tonight. I think his ownership's going to shoot up a little bit, which will partially try to take away from Duren and Mark Williams. So those are the main two here on FanDuel. I want to get them both in a lineup, which we'll be able to do on DraftKings, but over here you got to pick one. I'm mixing and matching those two with a little bit of Nurkic.
Can we get a Duren 2020 tonight, Beer?
I don't think it's out of the question. You would probably need the game to stay competitive is the concern. Can he do it in 3 quarters? I don't even think that's out of the question, but are we looking at a bet here, Roth?
No. I'm just I was looking at his stats. Like a few games ago, he went 22-22, 21-16 last game. Like he seems like a legit 2020 threat tonight for sure. So I'm on it. I'm playing him. Very good. Hey, I want to make sure everybody's getting the best deal in the industry because we've got it right now. Combo Pro. If you are maybe just an NBA fan or just an NFL fan, just sign up, get everything, more bang for your buck with the Combo Pro deal for a limited time. Get your first month of Combo Pro for $79.99. That's only $5 more than an NFL DFS monthly subscription. It is absolutely elite value, and I highly recommend you check it out. We got to jump on over to DraftKings. We still have 15 minutes left. Beer, you can lead us off with some point guard talk over on DK, where I do need a little bit of help still.
So Trey Jones, my favorite over here as well, 5,600, only point guard here on DraftKings, but he rates out very, very well. So he's the guy that I'm locking in the most here. Hopefully ownership in tournaments doesn't get too crazy, but I do think he'll get, into the 30s, potentially 40s. So we'll get different, but that's one I want to lock in for sure. Jeremiah Fears, I didn't bring him up in FanDuel, like him a little bit better here on DraftKings, but New Orleans, again, they need offense. And this kid's, the production's been up and down, but he's shown a nice level of upside. So really like him. CJ McCollum, 5,800 is way too cheap here. If Washington's going to do anything, it's likely McCollum. It's Alex Sarr, who we'll get to. I think those guys are going to have to do something here. So he's somebody I really like over here. Drew Holiday, a little bit more expensive over here at 76, but I do like him. Ryan Rollins at 63, I think is playable on other side. And Detroit, some value. You want some value. Dennis Jenkins, 3,100, I think is going to get some decent run here. So this would be large field. I don't know that, you're not playing him in a small field or a single entry. But if you want to get different, you want to open up some salary, he could get some extra run tonight at 3,100.
Okay. I love a call like that. You get a 3,100 guy. I am always interested. Kirk, point guard, what are you doing on DK?
Okay. So there's a lot to love here. So there's Luka, one of the top studs tonight. Totally can play him. Cade, we've already talked about, can play him. De'Aaron Fox is only 6,900. And he looked really good over the weekend. Finally back with and the Spurs are going to be on. They're my team. They're just so fun to watch. But Fox he was lighting it up. He looked really strong. Projects for about 31 minutes tonight. So it's just too cheap. Jeremiah Fears, as Beer mentioned him, cheaper here on the DK side, so like that. Trey Jones, already mentioned him. Nothing bad to say there. And Austin Reeves, if you're not, one of Luka or Austin Reeves, but they both can absolutely light it up. So love either of them. And Colin Sexton, as I mentioned, he's a little too expensive here on DraftKings at 6,700.
Okay. There haven't been a lot of Reeves and Luka games this year, right?
Yeah, no, you play one or the other.
Okay. Yeah. And I hope one of them can still get there and they're not just going to kind of split it up and both be okay.
They're both probably going to be awesome to some degree, but like
better.
One of the other. Plus, Reeves is coming back from a minor injury here. Who knows how hard they push him in this matchup with Charlotte? It all depends, but I wouldn't worry that either that are going to eat into each other too badly. So it's like one or the other is going to go off, absolutely go off.
I've got two lineups and I've got one or the other in both lineups. So that sounds good to me. Shooting guard, Kirkwood.
All right. We've got Anthony Edwards. I already gave my spiel with him. Just a really good matchup. 8,600 is a nice price. Javonte Green is going to get a boatload of minutes here for Detroit now against Washington. He's a guy who can kind of stuff the stat sheet with some defensive stats. So this is a good matchup for him. Ayo Dosunmu, for the minutes limit has been lifted, they said. So he's projecting from anywhere from like 28 to 30 minutes on, depends what site you're looking at. And he can rack up 4,200 is a nice price. So like that. Jaime Jaquez Jr., Beer mentioned him before. He's just balls with these guys out, with Bam out and Tyler Hero out. So Jaquez, you can just keep going to the well with him. This is a somewhat of a tough matchup with Cleveland, but it's not too bad. He should still be able to get into the paint and stuff against like Jared Allen. This isn't like him playing Wemby when people lined up to play and he kind of got shut down. So this is I wouldn't be scared of this matchup. Kevin Huerter is a guy who can light it up for 4,800 to try to keep the Bulls in this one. Going to have to probably, they're going to probably have to, light it up from the outside to stay in this one. So Kevin Huerter would be the guy. Anthony Black, 4,700 when Suggs is out. It's not the best matchup with Portland, but I think he's going to be just fine. So if you need a cheapie, he's fine. But that's it.
Okay. Beer, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Love Jaquez. So shooting guard, small forward, wherever you want to slide him in. A little bit more expensive over here at 65, but perfectly doable. So he's probably my favorite. The Bulls value, Dosunmu, I think is going to be upwards of 50% owned. Huerter, probably a little less owned. So you get a little bit of a discount there, but both great plays, especially in cash games if you need some savings. The Detroit guys are interesting outside of Holland. I don't know how much ownership Javonte Green picks up, but he's in the starting lineup. Duncan Robinson is in the starting lineup. So, Green significantly cheaper than Duncan Robinson. You save about $800. So I think he's a great play tonight. Con Knipple over here, 6,300. Still a very fair price for him. I expect a big night out of him tonight against the Lakers. So that's pretty much it. You got value. I don't think Anthony Edwards is fine. If you want to spend up 8,600, he's probably $1,000 too cheap. Prices are normally in the nines for him. So he's done well against bad teams. So good spot here against Utah. But I think there's a ton of value here you can take advantage of. I love the Anthony Black call. Another guy that's going to get some additional run without Jalen Suggs. So tons and tons of value here at shooting guard. And it's going to carry over to small forward as well.
All right, Beer, we did just get some news that AD has been ruled out. Now, He hasn't been in, so I assume everybody's priced properly anyways. It's not all that big of a deal.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to play. We saw the questionable tag this morning. Always gives you the glimmer that he may be back here. So it doesn't really change much for me with Dallas. They're all PJ Washington is the biggest benefactor to me, and he's already priced up.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get a question about Najee Marshall in that spot? He's fine.
Yeah, don't mind him.
Yeah,
he's fine.
All right.
There's just better value now with what we have with the Bulls and the Pistons.
Yeah. All right. Small forward, Beer.
So a lot of carryover. I'll try to give you some different names outside of all the names. The guys I just said, Black, Screens, Hollins, Knipple, Desanmu, all playable at small forward here tonight as well. So Herb Jones, 5,300. I don't mind that. Again, New Orleans missing some big pieces. So there's plenty of usage to go around for them. Okoro, I think Kirk mentioned him on FanDuel, but he's playable here at 4,000. There's going to be a lot of minutes to go around for the Bulls here tonight as well. Jaquez, you can slide here. I really like. I mentioned Sadiq Bey over on FanDuel, like him at 4,800 here. Let's see who's it. And PJ Washington is fine as well. He's probably a little expensive, but you're talking a guy that's going to be 1% owned as well. So if you have some bucks, he's your running back. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Okay. Kirkwood, your thoughts on small forward?
Yeah. The chalk punts are Holland, as we've been saying, Ayo Dosunmu and Javonte Green. A guy, Franz Wagner should do really well here, and he's only 78. You know, he's priced right on both sides, so it's hard not to like him. Beers man guy Jaime Jaquez Jr. Also Beers guy Herbert Jones. You just mentioned, like that. Them both. Anthony Black for value if you need it, as kind of, he was going to be much more higher owned, and more for the value, and so his ownership has been slipping down now with all these other guys stepping in. So, and he's a guy who can get hot, so I don't mind that. And then Con Knipple, as Beer mentioned, is fine. Yeah, that's not. And I mean, Okoro would be kind of a punt for on the Bulls, who's probably going to be pretty low owned.
Yeah. Okay. Power forward.
All right. Power forward. We got Giannis. You can fit him now easily. We've got value everywhere, so we can get these guys. Ron Holland. Again, it seems like you can play this guy everywhere, doesn't it? It seems like we've been talking about him every position.
Plays them all.
Yeah. Julius Randle was on his way to did he have a triple-double, or was he close to a triple-double against Utah in just that small amount of time? Regardless, it's a great matchup for him. He's 8,100, and he had a triple-double in 26 minutes against Utah. So a lot to like with him and Edwards. They both can get there too, but I probably would play one or the other. But I think that's a pretty important call, because I think one of them is going to do really well. Other than that, there's Mobley, there's Denny Avdia, just as solid as going to be. Portland's kind of pretty good. They're getting better. So like him. Paulo Banchero, Lauri Markkanen is the guy you want to correlate to for your Minnesota guys against Utah. And man, I'm a sucker for Derek Queen because I love the guy.
Love Derek Queen.
Yeah, so 4,800. He was going to be kind of like one of the punt plays before all these guys started going out. So yes, Misi's back, which might eat into him a little, but they've seemed very content. And if he's playing well, they're leaving him out there on the floor. So 4,800, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Beer, your thoughts of power forward?
Yeah, I caught some strays on Derek Queen tonight. He was in the 6-pack, and some guys in there. Missy's back. How do you play this guy?
Oh, yeah.
That was obviously part of the consideration, but he's played well. A lot of it's been fourth quarters, but he's highly touted. He's not going to have any ownership tonight. This is a team that I think they move Zion and kind of start over. So, maybe he's a potential building block, which we're talking tonight, 4,800, I think. Plenty of opportunity for him. So I like him. There's a couple guys I think are going to be very low owned that are probably too expensive. And sometimes that's a way you can get different. And we mentioned one in PJ Washington. Roth, I saw you mention. Give me a guy that can get some rebounds for Dallas, because they're going to be without AD. They're going to be without Lively, potentially without Daniel Gafford. He's a guy that can put a double-double on the board and give you 30 points. So I like him. And then Buzelis from Chicago, where everyone's getting excited about all these other cheap value plays. That's a guy that can step in and really provide some offense for them. So those are both, 1%ers in your tournament. I love the Julius Randle call. I don't think he'll have a ton of ownership. Giannis, 11-7 is tough, but all this value opening up. He is definitely in play tonight as well. I mentioned Derek Queen. I like him for value. And then Mobley kind of in the middle ground. So on a slate like this, if you build a fair and balanced lineup, you're going to be different. It's tough to pass up all this value, but you're going to have a unique lineup where everyone else has, studs and 4 or 5 of these value plays.
Yeah. Okay. Brings us to center. We only have a few minutes until lock, so be your favorites at center.
Center's pretty much same over here. Duren at 77's in play. Williams at 66 is in play. And I do like Alex Sarr a little bit more over here on DraftKings at 7,200. So the beauty here, you can play 2 of these guys. Where FanDuel, you can't always do that. But same crop for me over here.
Yeah. Kirk
is building his lineup right now. All right. Were we at power forward or center?
Center, please.
All right. It's Duren, and that's all that really matters. But other than him, you can play Wemby. If you're going to play Wemby, you got to play him here. But Duren is just such a smash play tonight. Unless he's probably going to get ejected or foul out or something. But I'd start every lineup with him tonight. Nurkic is in place. Alex Sarr just never gets enough ownership. His price is not high enough yet for his role. He's good for fantasy purposes. So like him, Mark Williams, I like. And then I'll mention just Miles Turner, homecoming. He's from Dallas and has pretty good history. If you look at it when he's going there, he always has a crowd there for him. So that's a little 6,100. I think that could be a sneaky good play.
Okay, very good. I got some questions coming in real quick. Less than a minute until lock. DK, GPP, Kirkwood, Herter, or Fears?
I like Fears better. He's a good scorer, man. I think he's gonna do well tonight.
Yeah. Beer Marcus says I've got some options at the util on DK, $6,700 in the util. It's a single entry tournament. Who do you prefer?
6,700. Did he give any options, or he's looking for
He's just looking for something at 67.
67. I mean, Bane at 61 is solid. We'll say Bane. Just save some time here.
Okay. Your boy Knipple isn't too far down that list.
Knipple, yep. Or Mark Williams if you don't have him in the lineup, or Hawkes at 65.
Oh, it's getting a little Knipply in here.
Yes, hey. Hey, guess what? We hit lock. That's good timing, gentlemen. We did all the things that we came here to do. Gave him some plays, answered some questions, and now it is time to go watch us some basketball, or football. You mentioned beer, or at least I heard there's a football show coming on. What time is that?
Yes, 7:30 Eastern. Chop and I will be breaking down the game tonight, taking everyone's questions. So
love that. Can I win $1 million tonight? What's the top prize?
The Field in Your Plums play of the day will be given out too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to feel the plums. Yeah, I think DraftKings you can win $1 million if you can find that unique lineup.
Hey, I mean, yeah, I told you my night's all about the party tonight, and now it's going to add $1 million in the most ridiculous lineup you've ever seen. So
there we go. Love it.
Kirk, the people are accusing you of farting.
No, it was my chair. It's squeaky. A little squeaky.
Come on.
Always the chair.
For Kirk, for beer, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.